While classrooms across Eastern North Carolina stand empty and students and teachers are tucked away at home, we know a great secret. Learning can happen anywhere. In fact, learning can happen everywhere. Welcome to Eastern Carolina Education Connection, a partnership with WNCT and Pitt County Schools. We're here to connect and reconnect with students, teachers, parents, and community during this unique and remarkable time in our state's history by helping you learn from right where you are.
Hi friends, hi Miss Jessica. Today we get to check in with a pretty famous character, Mr. Wolf. We've been hearing all these years about how this wolf blew down those pigs' houses, but today we get to hear it from his side of the story. We're going to use this book, The True Story of the Three Little Pigs, written by John Shushka and illustrated by Lane Smith and published by our good friends at Scholastic. Shamika Miller and Christy Madison, both from HB Suggs, second grade teachers, are going to join us today. Miss Madison is going to take us through this wonderful book, and Miss Miller is going to take us through some science experiments where we're going to learn what it means to blow a house down. Let's start out in the reading corner this morning with Miss Madison right now. Take it away, Miss Madison.
Friends, I'm Miss Madison and I teach at HB Suggs in Farmville, and today I have a special treat for you. We're going to read a fractured fairy tale. Now, a fractured fairy tale is a little different from the original fairy tales because it's told from a different character's point of view. So in this story, the true story of the Three Little Pigs, this is told by the wolf's point of view. And in this story, he wants us to believe that he is not a big bad wolf. He is really just looking for a cup of sugar for his dear old granny's birthday cake. This story is told by John Shushka, illustrated by Lane Smith. So we just finished reading The True Story of the Three Little Pigs, and that was a fractured fairy tale, boys and girls. And that's different. In the original, who's read the original Three Little Pigs? So in the original story, there's still the first pig with the house of sticks, the second pig, the first house with the house of straw. Miss Madison made a mistake. The second house with a house of sticks, and then the third house was made out of bricks. And in every one, the wolf blows all of them down, just like in this story. But this story is different because it's telling you that the wolf really didn't mean to blow down the house. He wasn't a big bad wolf. He was just trying to borrow a cup of sugar for his dear old granny's birthday. So that's the difference between this and the original Three Little Pigs, and that's how that is how come this is a fractured fairy tale. In a minute, you're going to go with my friend Miss Miller, and she is going to do a super fun retell of the original Three Little Pigs, and she's going to do an experiment with you where she's going to actually see which house blows down. And this is an experiment that you can actually do at home, boys and girls. So you're in for a treat. I can't wait.
Okay, friends, what time is it? It's wiggle time. Stand up, stretch out those muscles, get them going. Let's get ready to move with our special guest today.
Hi everyone. Today we're going to work on strengthening our core muscles. This means our stomach muscles and our back muscles. So we're going to do that by doing a plank. When you do a plank, you're going to get down on all fours. Follow me. I'm going to put my hands under my shoulders, get my legs out straight, squeeze my stomach muscles and my back muscles, and this is called a plank. And now you can go down to your forearms and do a lower plank. Keep your body straight and tight. Squeeze your muscles. This is the upper plank and then the lower plank. Now you know you're doing it correctly when you don't have your mountain or your valley. Keep that body straight. So here's some challenges you can do. You can try and pick up one hand, and if you do one side, make sure you do the other side. You can try to pick up one foot. Remember to strengthen your core muscles by holding them tight and picking up the other foot. Very good. Now we can turn to the side and put our arm up, keep our body straight for our side plank. You're doing great. Remember to go to the other side. Good. Now, we're going to try to challenge ourselves and take one foot in one hand and hold it up. Very good. Challenge yourself. Try the other side. Good. Now I'm going to challenge you to see if you can do a plank, the basic plank, right here. It can be up or it can be down, your choice. See if you can do that plank and hold it for 1 minute. Some of you may be able to go longer than that. And maybe you need to break it up and go up and down. So challenge yourself and see if you can do the plank and hold it for 1 minute. I know you can.
Hello friends, my name is Miss Miller. I'm a second grade teacher at H.B. Sugg Elementary School in Farmville, North Carolina. And today, Miss Madison has just read you the fractured fairy tale of the true story of the Three Little Pigs. But we're going to do an activity of the original from the pig's point of view. So I have my cards with my transition words. So first, the first little pig built his house out of straw. So I grabbed some paper right from the dollar store. If you don't have time to go to the dollar store, you can go grab a piece of paper from your mom's old mail. I'm sure she wouldn't mind. All right, so I'm gonna lay out my straw. All right. And while we're doing this, we're going to practice writing. So I have first, the first little pig built his house. I'm going to add this to my board. Built his house up out of straw. And let's add this to our board. Okay. And let's add us a pig. All right. Now, the big bad wolf is going to come. There was a knock at the door. Little pig, let me in. Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin. Well, I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. Wow, that was great, wasn't it? Okay, so let's go back over what happened first. So the first little pig built his house out of straw. Now, if you don't have straw at your house, what are some other things that you can do that don't weigh much? You could use some grass or some paper or just use whatever you have. Now, let's talk about what happened next. Yes, that's right. The wolf blew his house down. So we're going to stick that sentence right up here. All right, make sure that you are writing what happened in the story. Now we're going to go to the next little pig. Let's remember when we are writing, we have to add our transition words. Next. The second little pig built his house out of sticks. Now, I grabbed some popsicle sticks, but if you don't have popsicle sticks, you can go right outside and grab some twigs, anything that weighs a little bit more, but not as heavy. And I'm just laying out 4, and I'm stacking them right on top of each other, making a small little house. And it doesn't have to be perfect. All right. All right, and that's his house. And I'm going to add my second little pig. Now, we're going to pause and go ahead and do our writing. So, next, the second little pig built his house out of sticks. While we're doing this, make sure you think of other things that you can use just in case you don't have any sticks. All right, let's get ready to blow this house down. The wolf shows up at the house made out of sticks. Little pig, let me in. Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin. Well, I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. Wow, wasn't that amazing? I mean, the sticks just went everywhere. So let's review again. Next, the second little pig built his house out of sticks. But what happened when the wolf came? The wolf blew his house down. So let's add this to our writing. And remember, if you don't have sticks, that's fine. Grab anything that you have, but make sure it doesn't weigh a lot so that you can blow it away. All right, so now the wolf, which is our last, the wolf is now going to come to the last little piggy who made his house out of brick. And yes, I grabbed one of Miss Madison's bricks. But if you don't have bricks, you can go right outside, grab a heavy rock, that will work also. All right, so let's look at our story. So last, the third little pig built his house. Let's add this. Out of brick. And make sure when you're writing, you use whatever tools you have. So if you have rocks, then you will say out of rocks. All right, now let's get ready to blow this house down. Well, we're gonna at least try. The wolf arrived at the third little pig's home. Little pig, let me in. Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Well, I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll... It's not going anywhere. Well, the pig did. And then he tried it again. Well, I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll... Oh, man. It didn't work. Man, this house made out of bricks would not move. So remember, when you're doing your activity, make sure you have something firm and sturdy that can't be moved. So let's look at our sentences. The wolf huffed and he puffed, but let's add this to our story. He couldn't blow the brick house down. So remember, in your story, you can add any ending that you want. So you can say, because in some stories, he goes through the chimney and falls in a pot of turnips. In some, they become best friends. Yes, I've read that, where the wolf and the pig become best friends. But in my story, the wolf ran off and was never seen again. He was so embarrassed. So I'm going to add this to the end. Now, we're going to take a look at our whole story. Let's read it together. First, the first little pig built his house out of straw. The wolf blew his house down. Next, the second little pig built his house out of sticks. The wolf blew his house down. Last, the third little pig built his house out of bricks. The wolf huffed and he puffed, but couldn't blow the brick house down. So he ran off and was never seen again. So we've just reenacted the story of the three little pigs. Now it's your turn to show us how you can do it. Remember, you can use anything that you have at home. Just remember, your first two items need to be something that can blow away, and your last item needs to be something that's very firm. Okay, so make sure that you record it, post it on Facebook, send it to your friends. If you have younger siblings, act the story out for your family. Anything that you can do. And make sure, I love to show my story by writing. All right, I can't wait to see what you all come up with.
My name is Ms. Benson and I'm the art teacher at Pactola School. One of my students' favorite things to do is work with clay. So today I'm going to show you how to make clay at home with things you can probably find around the house. Let's get started. First thing you have to do is get adult permission. Then gather your materials. Here's what you will need: a bowl or something to mix in, a spoon or something to mix with, 1 cup of cornstarch, and 1/2 cup of hair conditioner. If you do not have hair conditioner, you can also use any type of lotion or white glue. If you have glue, glue might be the best to use because it'll stay together best when it dries out. And one optional supplies is food coloring. Okay, start by emptying your wet ingredient into the bowl. And then stir in your cornstarch just a little bit at a time. You want a smooth consistency, and at this point it's going to look like marshmallow fluff, and that means it's too wet. So that means you need more cornstarch. When it starts to get crumbly, you might want to stir it with your hands. And what I'm doing is I'm just squishing it together with my hands. You'll see that it starts to form a dough, and notice how I'm just squishing it back and forth with my hands until it starts to form together. You'll know it's ready when you squish it around in your hands and it's nice and fluffy and soft. It'll be a good consistency when you pull it apart, and it creates kind of a teardrop shape like this one. If you want to add color, now's your time. And there you have it, your own clay at home. Now you can start practicing your clay skills. Find something around your house that would print a cool texture onto your clay. Remember, texture is the way something feels. For example, I grabbed this cup that has a bumpy texture on it. Watch what happens when I squish it into my clay. It creates the bumpy texture on my clay too. Another thing you can do with your clay is practice building things. Use the palm of your hand to roll balls, just like this. You can also roll coils. A coil is a long tube of clay. Start with a ball and then roll it out with the flat part of your hand and the table, just like this. Don't use your fingers, just use the flat part of your hand. And you can start to make coils. The possibilities are endless. Be as creative as you can be, and I hope you enjoyed this video and have fun with your clay.
I'm so glad we got to spend this time together on Eastern Carolina Education Connection, and I'm really looking forward to our next episode where we can learn and explore together from right where you are.
You can also connect with us on Facebook using the information below. We look forward to seeing you for our next episode.